Microsoft's Surface lineup is really starting to come into its own, in my opinion. No longer making giant changes, they're focusing more on refining the products, paying more attention to the little details. And I, for one, am excited about that fact. The new Surface Pro is no exception to this new ideology. So much so that you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference between it and the Surface Pro 4 that it's succeeding. On the outside, they look identical, basically. But don't be fooled by this. The Surface Pro, which no longer has numbers, by the way, it's not the 5, it's just the Surface Pro, is not that similar to the Surface Pro 4. There's a lot of little changes that, in my opinion, make a big difference. Now, I recently did a video where I interrogated a Microsoft rep to tell me all of the subtle changes that were made to the Surface Pro 5, comparing it to the Surface Pro 4. If you want that video, you can click the link below to be taken to that. But in this, let's talk about the Surface Pro as a whole. First up, the design, which again, hasn't changed much at a glance. It still has the same basic form factor, with a large display that connects via magnets to a thin type cover, not included by the way, and with a kickstand around the back. It's with this kickstand that these subtle changes start. This time it folds a lot further down, which makes drawing on the screen with the pen, also not included, way more natural. Then we have the edges, which are a bit more curved, and small things like the cooling vents on the inside are painted to match the rest of the shell, making them just a bit less noticeable. Speaking of the cooling vents, Microsoft added a lot of copper into this little guy. So much so that they actually redesigned basically the entire interior of the device. All of that means the device runs a lot cooler, to the point where the i5 models don't actually have fans at all, and the i7 model, which I have here, has fans, but I've never once heard them turn on. On the front of the device, we have the same 3:2 aspect ratio, 12.3-inch pixel sense touchscreen with a resolution of 2736 by 1824, and a few more subtle changes to the coloring. Namely, the front-facing cameras are now colored black to blend in with the bezel. Those cameras, by the way, allow you to use Windows Hello's facial recognition, which I find works pretty well for the most part, and at least even more so once you do the improved recognition option a couple of times. The device has 2 stereo speakers, one on either side of the screen, and they sound good. Nothing mind-blowing and great, but pretty good. Watching movies and listening to music is all pretty decent. It just is not quite as rich as some of the other speakers that I've used on similar laptops. Microsoft is now marketing this guy as a laptop. Gone are the days of the tablet that can replace your laptop, and more so we're doing the most versatile laptop as the new mantra, which, if we're being honest, is the way that most people are going to use this device anyway. Windows, even in tablet mode, still feels very much to me like you can only use it for basic things before wanting to just take out the keyboard and mouse anyway. It's this concept of it being a super portable touchscreen laptop that I actually appreciate it for, and actually think it's smarter for Microsoft to view it that way as well. The only issue I have with this new marketing pivot is the fact that this laptop doesn't include a keyboard and trackpad, making it, well, not a laptop until you buy that separately. The TypePad is available in a standard model for $129 or the Alcantara fabric covered signature model for $159. I have the signature type cover in the Alcantara blue that I like so much, but it also comes in burgundy and platinum, and I have to admit they do add a nice touch to the very minimalistic laptop that I appreciate. The typing on these covers is pretty great. The keys have a good click to them, and albeit are a little louder than most keyboards I've used, especially because, you know, I type with purpose. The trackpad is a nice glass one and a precision trackpad, thankfully, which I went over in my Huawei MateBook X review as to why you want that and why it's so important, but suffice it to say that it's just a much more responsive trackpad and it can use gestures built into Windows, which, trust me, you want. The keyboard is also backlit and can fold back against the device, which causes it to automatically disable itself, which is clever, so you don't have to worry about it typing random letters while you draw. Speaking of drawing on the device, one of the biggest draws of this new device is that you can use the new Surface Pen. The new pen, launched alongside the Surface Pro, has 4 times as many pressure points as the old pen and the ability to tilt the pen to the side to get shading like you would from a real pencil, for example. Now, I'm not much of an artist, but I can tell you that using this pen compared to the old one, it is a lot more responsive. Now, like the keyboard, the pen is an optional accessory. Now, unlike the keyboard and the trackpad, which I feel like if you're gonna call this a laptop, you kind of have to give with it or something. The pen is something that I don't use that often, although I like it a lot. So it makes a little more sense for that to actually be an optional accessory. It is $99, by the way, and I do recommend maybe trying it out because it is pretty novel and fun. The ports on the device might seem a little dated compared to all the new devices coming out. There's no USB-C, there's a proprietary charging port, etc. But for Microsoft, for better or for worse, they are a bit beholden to their legacy users, and they don't want to come out with a device that will then alienate those people that have all of the peripherals already. So on the device, we have the same ports as the last two Surface Pro devices: a USB 3.0 port, a mini display port, and a micro SD card slot. Now, let's talk performance. The Surface Pro comes in a few different configurations with different SSD sizes, but the power differences are either the M3 Intel processor with 4 gigs of RAM and an Intel HD 615 GPU, the i5 with 4 or 8 gigs of RAM and an Intel 620, or the i7 with 8 or 16 gigs of RAM and an Intel Iris Plus 640. None of these configurations would I call a gaming or editing laptop by any means, but it does handle basic photo editing and some footage in Premiere if it's not too taxing. And of course, it can handle a ton of Chrome tabs and other normal usage just fine. Since we all love benchmarks, here's a quick look at how my i7 16 gig model did on Geekbench for you to compare against other laptops in the price range. Which then brings us to one of the big changes: battery life. In my opinion, if you want a super light, portable laptop that doesn't have a crazy GPU inside, it better last all day. Thanks to those internal changes Microsoft made to the laptop, a bigger battery and the more power efficient CPU made this model do just that for me. Not quite as long as the Huawei MateBook X I just reviewed, but plenty of power to be out all day working without having to worry about needing a plug. The Surface Pro comes in 6 configuration options, from the lowest tiered M3 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gig SSD, and Intel HD 615 GPU for $799, to the top tier i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and Intel Iris Plus 640 for $2699. Now personally, I would probably knock off the two models at either end of the spectrum. The M3 core option is just not going to have that much performance even compared to the very next level up. So I would probably recommend just skipping that and at least going for the next tier up. And then the very top model with the 1 terabyte SSD is an extra $500 just for the 512 gigs extra storage than the next model down. And honestly, for that, that's a lot of money just for the convenience of being internally integrated. You could, for example, get a pretty fast external RAID 0 rugged lacy 4 terabyte hard drive for $370 if you just needed more storage and didn't care about it being inside the laptop. And again, your best bet is probably somewhere in the middle. Just keep in mind the extra money for the keyboard and also the pen if you want that as well. Overall, it's not a cheap laptop, but it's also not like a super powerful gaming one either. It sits pretty squarely in this new genre of two-in-one devices that honestly what it really comes down to is, are you going to be using it in all of the different configurations that that form factor allows? As a tablet, laying down and using it with the pen, and as a normal laptop. If the answer is yes to all of that, then there isn't a very large two-in-one pool to choose from. And frankly, Microsoft, with their focus on refinement and their new confidence in the way that this laptop should be used, kind of sets the gold standard, in my opinion. So now if you're looking at two-in-ones, the latest Surface Pro is a more refined and more functional take. And frankly, it's probably what the two-in-one genre should actually be. There, guys, a review of the Surface Pro. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the Surface Pro, of me doing these reviews, any suggestions. Always love to hear from you guys. But if you like this video, please thumbs up it or share it. It's greatly appreciated. And if you want more videos like this, please check out my channel. And if you like what you see there, please subscribe. Also, even if you are already subscribed or you're about to subscribe, good stuff. But would you mind tapping the bell next to the word subscribe so you get notified whenever I do new videos? I don't do them terribly often, and I try to do the best I can. But it'd be great if you guys could do that for me. I'd really appreciate it. It means more people actually get to see the stuff that I do, and I won't just get lost in all of your subscriptions. So thank you for that. As always, though, regardless, thanks for watching.